90-second intro.
Cool.
Counting down 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Good evening, everybody. Hi, I am Earl Holland here for another live stream for the Sports Refuge Podcast. And of course, I am Earl Holland here with my guest coming to talk to the audience and for everyone who will be listening to this episode of the Sports Refuge Podcast second annual Summer Cookout Draft. Here to give us some of his hard-hitting draft analysis is a frequent guest to the show and a good friend of mine. This is Brad Wilkins. Brad, how are you doing this Sunday afternoon?
Oh, I'm doing fine, Earl. How you doing? And the hard hitting made me think, laugh a little bit. I was like, I don't know if I could do Kuiper. I don't know if I could do the voice like Caliendo does. I could do, I don't think I could do it quite that good. But I appreciate you having me on, Earl. I'll give you my opinion. I guess that's the best I can do. So,
hey, sometimes that's all that really matters, especially when it comes to food, because food is like humor. It's like it's like music. It's all subjective depending on what you really think about it.
Yeah,
and it's funny when we started this draft a while ago, and it spun off from the Thanksgiving draft that I've done that initially started a long time ago when I was a reporter, and how we had everybody in the newsroom get involved and really do their own fantasy draft. And something like Thanksgiving, so many different varieties, especially depending on culture, background, location, region, and those things always make for a good mix. And I always decided, let's bring it to summer, because that's the best way to do it, because so many people do so many things at cookouts, and especially everybody getting back out here, I thought it was a good idea.
Yeah, and technically you could probably do one each season. So I know winter's not the best time to do a cookout, but you can cheat a little, do a little inside cookout, so like stuff like that. But yeah, it's especially good because summertime is definitely synonymous with grilling and all that stuff, and outside and having fun. So it's definitely a step forward, a logical step forward in the food draft saga, I guess you could say. So.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And how we're going to run this down, we decided we're just going to do several varieties of this. First, we'll go pick by pick each round, and then we'll go overall. Then we'll talk about the undrafted free agent round in mass, and then Brad will sum it up with his draft grades and really what gives what draft over the edge over the other.
Sounds good.
Okay, as we started, the order, of course, going from rounds 1 to round 3. Round 1 was Jennifer Brannett Cox. Round 2 was pick 2 of round 1 is Sharice Holland. pick 3 is Charlie Cox. Pick 4 is Stephanie Sunshine Williams, and number 5 was myself. Heading into round 2, it was number 5. It was me with the number 5 pick in the Serpentine draft, then followed by Stephanie Williams, then Charlie Cox, then Charisse, and then Jennifer, and then back to the final round: Jennifer, Charisse, Charlie, Stephanie, and then myself. Starting off, going with the first pick, number 1. Jennifer Brandon Cox started off with beer. Brad, what say you about your thoughts on that as the top pick of the draft?
See, I'm torn on this as the number 1 pick. Beer is a summer staple. Don't get me wrong. That's there's a lot of people that enjoy an adult beverage, a daddy soda. I've heard in the past. So beer is perfect. However, its placement is what's got me. I'm not sure if anybody would have kind of stole that in the first round. I might be wrong, but I don't think anybody would kind of steal that in the first round. I think she could have went with a staple, chicken, hamburgers, any type of basically meat or like corn on the cob or something, or one of the salads, macaroni, potato, any of that stuff. So, but beer is a good pick. So I gave the pick a B+. It was borderline that, but it's just the placement is what got me a little bit. But her strategy worked last year, so I can understand if it's not broke, don't fix it. But beer's still at a little bit of a tough spot for me for number 1 overall. So
number 2 pick, Charisse picked barbecue chicken. That is always a staple and a summer favorite. What say you?
I agree with that completely. It's definitely a staple. It's just maybe not as well known as some of the other like meat staples. For instance, steak, hamburger, cheeseburger, hot dogs, the other stuff. But it's definitely a staple. So I gave it an A. It was a good, solid pick. Can't go wrong with meat, especially in the first round. I don't get to get this by not by not eating some meat there. So I gave Charisse's first pick an A.
And number 3, Charlie follows up with barbecued wings. I know while they're of the same ilk as barbecue chicken, they are a bit different, especially you go by size and I guess the ability to eat with you can eat both with your hands depending on people have their preferences whether they want to eat chicken on the bone in public.
Yeah, and that's another good pick. You can't go wrong with barbecue. I mean you can't go wrong with barbecue. It's natural sauce. I mean it's just you could probably package it, drink it, and you'd sell millions. So barbecue wings is another good one. It's like I said, I would have thought that maybe something else would have went there, your traditionals, but I still like the pick. I gave it an A-. So it's kind of go hard with barbecue chicken. It's the offshoot, so drops it down a tad bit, not much, but so I gave it an A- to barbecue wings.
Yeah, those are and again, they're like I said, there's a staple to them, especially there's so many restaurants that do that because why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Going to the next pick, Stephanie Sunshine Williams. She picked ribs with her pick of the round. What was your thought on ribs? I felt like it was the beginning of the run on barbecue things.
It was, and barbecue ribs is not bad. It's something that probably it's where she's at in the draft. It's not a bad pick because she can kind of go back and get something aside there, which I think she did in the draft. I'm pretty sure she did. So, but it's sort of like on the same level as barbecue wings, in my opinion. It's kind of the not quite lesser known barbecue foods for grilling, but it's still up there. So I gave it an A- as well. So I gave her an A- for barbecue ribs.
And then, of course, round number one, I chose steak.
And I'm surprised it fell to you at 5. I would have thought steak would have probably went before then. So it's not quite a major steal, but it's still a steal in my eyes. So I gave it an A+. It was a good pick. It was a good pick to wrap up the first round. I could see it going 3rd, 4th, 5th, something like that. But I gave it an A+. It was a good pick. So.
And then going around to round number 2, I had the second pick, and I went with lamb chops. I know that was a little fancy for a cookout, but
it's a little highfalutin, but I can understand the keto diet and all that is special there, but it's just, and I mean I might be wrong, but personally for me, lamb chops doesn't really relate as a cookout type food, though. That was my issue with the pick. It's not a bad pick. I mean, meat's meat, food's food. It's going to be good no matter what. But and also, Earl, I think you could have probably backed off a little bit, maybe get a third round pick out of that. I mean, it's a little high for me. I gave it a B. It's not a bad pick. It's a little high, little higher than I thought it'd be, and it's not as well known as some of the other cookout foods. So
yeah, I know I can definitely see that. I can completely see that. Then the second pick of round 2, Stephanie Williams selected potato salad, the old favorite and staple of cookouts.
Yeah, and I agree completely. Potato salad is definitely a staple. It's a summertime tradition. Now, here's the thing about potato salad, and I don't think Stephanie mentioned it up or not, but it's almost like a battleground when it comes to potato salad in my family, because you've got onions and you got without onions. And if you don't label it and someone gets something wrong, there could be some fighting words. Maybe not fighting words, but some crass eyes thrown around, some dirty eyes thrown around, if you know what I mean. So, but potato salad, it's a staple. Not my favorite, but it's a staple. So I gave it an A+, especially coming in the second round. She definitely snatched it up where I thought it would be. So I gave it an A+. Good pick.
Yeah, see, and we were talking about with onions, without onions, with eggs and without eggs is our battleground there.
Okay.
And don't let somebody who eats the one with eggs, who likes eggs, eat the one without eggs, because it does not end well.
No,
believe me, I've seen it. Going to Charlie's pick, the second pick of her draft is lemonade with no pulp.
See, I like lemonade with no pulp. I don't mind either or, but I find out that if I'm drinking a lemonade with pulp, it seems like I'm eating it more than drinking it at times. So I like the pick. It's another summer staple. So maybe she could have let it go to the third round. I don't think so. I think it's as far as like a summer drink, you got beer, then you got lemonade right below it. So I gave it an A. It was a good pick. Maybe a little high, but where she's at in the draft, I understand where she took it. So I gave it an A, solid A.
Followed up, the pork hot dog. You know, I always say if something is a pork hot dog, it is a sausage. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah,
but there are pork hot dogs.
Yeah, I agree with you. I had in parentheses sausage down here with it, and like I said, nothing wrong with that. It's a good pick. And it goes along the hot dog route. So I mean, it's and I understand Charisse has a diet as well she has to keep. So I'm not it's still a very good pick. You would think at this point, hamburger, hot dogs, you think right there, it's a staple. You get people in that way. But sausages are good too. Like I said, it's all good. So I went A for the pork hot dog or sausages. So I gave her a solid A.
Jen swung back around and picked the one thing that fell through the cracks in the first 9 picks, and hamburgers was on the board. I mean, you know, it was easy, and sometimes you think maybe it'll come back around, but she got lucky.
You don't want to take that chance. Trust me. There's been many a fantasy football draft where I let things go, and then afterwards I'm like, gosh, I should have picked them. I was like, I think I can make back, and it didn't, and I just kicked myself for it. But yeah, hamburgers, that's a solid A+. That'd be a number 1 pick for me. So it doesn't. The beer pick's a good pick, but like I said, hamburgers is almost synonymous with cookouts as sun and grill and games. So for me, hamburgers, my number 1, taken in the second round, a perfect steal. This is probably pretty close to being my pick of the draft. So this is the MVP pick for me. So hamburgers, A+. If I could give it an A++, I would, but we'll just stick with an A+. That was a good pick by Jen.
Okay, and then Jen wrapped up the the traditional draft round with her final pick, macaroni and cheese.
Another A+. Macaroni cheese, it's right there. It's your side. It's like you got around in the area. You got macaroni cheese. You got potato salad. You could have macaroni salad in there. You got baked beans. All that in there is like your traditional cookout side, traditional summer side food. And macaroni with cheese is my favorite. So another A+ from Jen. She had perfect back-to-back picks. So maybe it probably fell to her a little bit, in my opinion. I had mac and cheese probably top 5-ish. So it was a good pick by Jen. Another A+ pick. So,
and then Sharice followed hers up with corn on the cob.
Corn on the cob, another good pick. So it's definitely it's definitely a good pick. Corn on the cob is one of those where it's you can cook, boil or grill or whatever, and it all tastes great. So another traditional pick. So another A+ for me.
And then followed by Charlie with s'mores. That's a pretty good snack. I mean, it is a tough one, and you do think of summer and probably winter when you think of that.
Yeah, it's a good snack. First snack picked, I believe. It's a good pick. Maybe she could have got away with it, maybe getting into free agents, but I wouldn't take that chance. So I agree with her taking it there. Another good A+ pick there for Charlie. So.
And then Stephanie Williams, I had given Sharice corn on the cob. Yeah, my brain is a little fried. Sharice picked baked beans, and Stephanie Williams picked corn on the cob. Let's go back to baked beans.
Yeah, baked beans, another traditional classic. Like I said, you got the mac and cheese, you got the potato salad, you got the baked beans, all in that same category. So baked beans, A+. Nothing wrong there. Same thing when you heard my spiel about corn on the cob. Everything stands true. It's actually a steal probably that late in the draft. So I gave her corn on the cob too. A+ all around for the sides there. So
what's your favorite baked bean flavor?
Ooh. See, you're probably going to laugh at me, but I can I do a good Booster's baked beans is good. I mean, it's just I can eat just about any type of baked bean. You give me barbecue, you give me plain, you give me whatever. A baked bean. Yep, there you go. That's it. A baked bean is a good. As long as it's done well and cooked well, it's all good. So
it's weird because the generic kind has the pork and beans with the little weird pork fat in there, as opposed to like Bush's where it's bacon or it's like I feel like when you get the weird little fatty pork, it's and it's the only thing about baked beans, other than not being keto friendly, is that it's a little gritty on your teeth. It leaves a little
little film. Yeah, it does. But hey, that's when you can brush your teeth at night afterwards. So it's perfect. So.
So. And then, of course, wrapping up the final pick of the traditional draft, I picked shrimp salad. I know that we could go on a whole blue rant on that, but shrimp salad is good.
Shrimp salad is good. Yeah, it's good. It's shrimp is seafood, which I didn't quite measure into to my grade here, so I might make a little bit of an adjustment on the fly here. It's you don't really think of it as a summer staple, so I don't really think I can get above this grade, but I think I'm gonna give you a B+ for that one. It's you got the seafood, you got the salad, it's kind of all mixed in together. Still good, just not quite the more well-known summer staples, but like I said, everybody's got their own diets and all that stuff, so I'm not gonna knock it. Would I eat it? I could try it. It's not a normal for me, but I wouldn't mind trying it. But it's so still good. So I gave it a B+. So
I think the best way to classify it is like it's coleslaw, but replace cabbage and carrots with shrimp and celery.
Yeah,
pretty much
get some meats on the bone. Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, I mean shrimp. When I do shrimp in summer, I do think of how the Australians would do it, as Jim Carrey would say, "Hey, in Dumb and Dumber, let's put another shrimp on the barbie."
Yep, exactly.
One thing we didn't go through initially was the summer playlist. What are your thoughts on the songs that were selected for the playlist? And I'll run them down for you. Jen, run them down for you.
Okay.
Jen picked Lana Del Rey "Summertime." Sharice picked Beyonce's version, "Before I Let Go." Charlie picked the Phineas and Ferb theme, 104 Days of Summer Vacation. Stephanie Williams selected Sly and the Family Stone's Family Affair, and I selected the Gap Band's Outstanding.
All good. I kind of lean towards Charlie, though. I like that Phineas and Ferb theme. That's a good theme, though. For me personally, the one song I kind of, there's a couple songs, and I'm more of a classic rock guy. So a couple songs I kind of relate to summer. It's Summer of '69, Bryan Adams. I really love that song. It's got a good hook to it, a good beat. Not the happiest song in the world, no, but it's got a good beat. And the other one is it's a little more melodic than when you would think, but for a summer song. But Boys of Summer by I forget which Eagle it is.
Is it Don Henley or is it Don Henley?
I think it's Don Henley. Yeah, I think it's Don Henley. I think it's called Boys of Summer. So it's a good song, and you can even throw in Kenny Chesney's any Kenny Chesney song you could probably throw in there as a summer song. So because
I'm just thinking of I'm trying to think of one. When I worked at Country Station, it was one that just popped in my head.
It's that and Uncle Cracker. What's that song called? I'm drawing a blank. I should have done a little more research on this, but there's a song. I think it's him and Uncle Cracker. I think is it Uncle Cracker or just Cracker?
I think it's Uncle Cracker. At least that's what I.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's those are a little more up my alley. But each song's got a good beat. I love Family Affair. Family Affair is a good song. It's got a nice beat, a little slow, melodic, but it fits in perfectly. It's good summer theme. So yeah, good summer playlist. I'll take it. It's good songs. So.
And as we do a quick sweep through the undrafted free agency round, we'll go by each person and their 3 picks. Jen did beef hot dogs, key lime pie, and canned jam.
Beef hot dogs, A+. If I could give it A++, it's my surprise pick of the draft because I thought it would have been gone by now. But I'll take it. A+ there. It's definitely a good pick. Key lime pie, I had to do a little research because I've never had key lime pie. That could be a faux pas of mine, but and it's probably up there as one of the most traditional summer foods, if not pies, around. So I gave her another A+ for that pick. And canned jam, I'll be honest, I've never heard of it. So I had to do a little research, looked it up. It seems like a good summer game. So I gave her an A- on that. So beef hot dogs, A+, key lime pie, A+, canned jam, A-.
Then Charisse goes with soda, macaroni salad, and sour cream and onion, preferably the brand of potato chips.
Yeah. Soda, A+. It's if you want to be not healthy with your beverage, lemonade might be number 1, depending on how much sugar you want to put in that lemonade. But sodas is right up there. So, but still, for me, that's another summer staple. If it's not lemonade and it's not tea, probably soda. So I'll give A+ for soda. Macaroni salad, it's a little bit of the lesser known picks not lesser known, but everybody, if you had a choice between potato salad and macaroni salad, most people probably choose potato salad first. But macaroni salad's still good, still a staple. So I gave it an A-. Definitely a good pickup in the undrafted free agents, though. So and then potato chips. She said sour cream. Sour cream's good, but sour cream's not exactly my flavor. Give me barbecue or give me regular or give me Old Bay. I love. Don't get me wrong, love sour cream. Just not. It's like 3rd or 4th on the list of potato chips. Still gave it an A+ though. It's a good pick. So just quick recap: soda A+, macaroni salad A-, potato chips A+.
Charlie followed it up with carrots and hummus, the swimming pool, and a Philly cheesesteak.
The carrots and hummus, it threw me off a little bit, but she said with cayenne too, I believe, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah, that's that. I love some spice. I think that's what rose it for me. I love me some hot food. So getting the carrot and hummus up there with the cayenne, I gave it an A-. It's definitely finger food. Definitely good. It's definitely one of those tide you over foods. Well, can be depending on how you want to eat it, but it's still good. Just I knocked it a little bit because not many people consider it summer cookout type food, but still it's good. So the carrots and the finger foods, like the little tomato balls and the celery and the broccoli and the carrots, it's all good. So I gave her an A- for that. Swimming pool, I gave an A+. Another thing I was kind of surprised. It's kind of hard to tell when you're going to do it. When somebody's going to kind of go off the board and go inanimate or go an inedible choice or an edible choice. So I was kind of surprised it went to free agents before somebody didn't choose a non-edible choice for summer. But swimming pools, always good. Synonymous with summer. A+ right there. Another good pick. Philly cheesesteak. Get me wrong. Love a good Philly cheesesteak. Not quite synonymous with cookouts, but good food still nonetheless. So I gave it a B+. It's very good. It's I guess if you're in the Philly area, it might be a good cookout food, but it's still great food. So so I gave it a B+ on the Philly cheesesteak. Quick recap: carrots and hummus with cayenne, A-. Swimming pool, A+. Philly cheesesteak, B+.
Where is your go-to place for a cheesesteak? Because, it's interesting because I did a whole run around Philadelphia, asking people, canvassing people about where their favorite place to go to Philly cheesesteak, and I got like 6 or 7 different places.
See, Earl, I got to be honest. I do love me a good Philly cheesesteak, but the Steakums is very cheap, effective, but also probably disqualifies me from probably judging on Philly cheesesteaks. So I haven't been to Philadelphia much. I've been a couple times, but it was when I was younger. So like I said, it's what gets me about the Philly cheesesteak, and it's synonymous with Philly cheesesteaks, is I got to work on the onions. I'm not an onion fan. So, and that's like it's the steak, it's the, depending on who it is, the cheese sauce or just the melted cheese, and then it's the onions. And if you know me, I don't do onions. Don't do onions well. So, but I'm always up for trying something, for the most part. But I'll be up for trying that. But so I'm kind of disqualified on the Philly cheesesteak talk. So.
Steakum, I think they use, it's big in Philadelphia. I think they use Steakum. I don't know if they use the box kind, where they use the little steak ones that they do. I use Quaker Made because they're a bit cheaper, but you season them up yourself. Well, I know I don't want to hijack this too much, but Cheese Whiz or cheese, and which kind?
Ooh. See, I'd probably go Sans Cheese Whiz. I've had too many just the cheese, think of just like the Cheese Whiz from the can. It's just most of the time when you get the Cheese Whiz, it's just the flavor just kind of loses a little something. In my opinion, anyway. So because I'm sure, like you probably took Cheese Whiz, turn it upside down, go and put it all in your mouth, and maybe it's the condensed air in it. I just don't know, but so if I had a choice, I'd probably go melted cheese. So it feels better for me, or it tastes better for me. But like I said, I'm not knocking people who like Cheese Whiz. It's just not my thing. So.
I think it's a little too salty, but I do like Swiss or provolone or white American. I don't do regular Kraft singles stuff that I get sick and like that. The way you are with onions is the way I are with any type of single American cheese.
American's good for me. Cheddar's good for me. Give me a good pepper jack though. I like a little kick with my stuff. I love me a good pepper jack. Gives you just enough kick to make it taste good. So. Mm-hmm.
As we resume the undrafted free agency round, Stephanie Williams selected crabs, deviled eggs, and pound cake.
Yeah. Steamed crabs, and a seafood tradition, especially in the summertime. So especially Eastern Shore time, around the Eastern Shore, around this time, stream crabs. I give her A+ on that. So it's some people might not consider it cookout food, but if you're from the Eastern Shore or any area where you got a lot of water around, steamed crabs are definitely good. So deviled eggs, I gave an A-, and I got a little biased on this. I'm not the biggest fan of deviled eggs, so which is probably another knock against me on this, but it's still summertime tradition. It's still good for people who like it. So I gave her an A-. It was a good pick. Especially in the free agents. That's another one where you think that might be pretty close to being drafted in the normal round. So pound cake, I gave a solid A. It's good food, not quite as known for summer, but it's definitely a good dessert. So you could put like strawberries on it. You can put jams on it. You can put a lot of things on pound cake and make give it a nice little extra kick to it, if you know what I mean. So I gave her an A for pound cake. So quick recap: steamed crabs A+, deviled eggs A-, pound cake solid A.
Now, my under after free agency round seems like the most pretentious one because all the good stuff was taken. And again, at least want to say I have one vegetable on there. You got to have some type of vegetable. Well, not really, but the thoughts would prevail. Mm-hmm. I picked grilled asparagus, the lawn chair, and grilled salmon.
Yeah. Grilled asparagus is good. It's a good pick, Earl. It's an underrated vegetable. It's also good for the keto, so I can understand that. I gave it a B+. It's a good pick. It's not as synonymous with some other vegetables around cookout time. Still a good pick. And when you grill something, adds a little extra something to it, in my opinion. So I gave it a B+. Lawn chair, I gave an A+, Earl. You're a thinking man there. You gotta have somewhere to sit. I mean, standing around's okay, shooting the breeze, all that stuff, but unless you're busy, for me anyway, unless you're busy like playing a game or something, I don't want to be standing around. Give me a lawn chair. Give me a log. Give me something to sit on. So I really love that pick. That was a thinking man's pick there. I gave it an A+. And grilled salmon, seafood. So you got it there. Even though salmon not really around here, but and I know you said your draft seemed a little pretentious, and this one didn't really help the opinion of it, but still good food. But I gave it a solid B. I mean, it's not a bad pick. It's just it's not exactly considered for cookouts or your down home cookouts, I guess you could say. Maybe some of the some other cookouts would have it. It's and I believe salmon's not cheap, Earl. Am I right on that? I mean, it's
well, if you want high quality salmon, probably not cheap. I mean, you probably go to Aldi and get some salmon, but probably still pay a decent amount. But I mean, it is that my free agency would have been Fraser Crane approved because
I know.
That's pretentious written all over.
You were being a gracious host. You decided you'd take last, so and I can understand that. You want to give the other people a chance, but I'm surprised you didn't go snake for the free agents, but I know that probably would have took longer. So yeah, but I agree with you, Earl. But I mean, like if you, I know it's probably not your favorites, but I mean, if you did like tea or something, or if you did, there were some free agents that I was surprised that was still around. So, but I agree with you. Grilled salmon is not you kind of got shortchanged on your free agents.
It's not the everyman meal.
No, it's not. But you got a little shortchanged on your free agents. But you still pulling out the lawn chair was definitely a solid for you. Give you A+ there. The grilled asparagus, good. Not more as well known. So I gave you a B+. And then the grilled salmon, I gave you a B. It's good. Just maybe not the
not even short type.
Yeah, maybe not the cookout type of food you're thinking, but still a good pick though. Still tastes good. So
yeah, like I said, I got the pick that can be the Jason Momoa meme with the chairs.
There you go, Earl. There you go.
What were some of the ones that you were surprised that didn't get picked up?
Watermelon. I'm surprised watermelon didn't get picked up. That's a fruit or vegetable. I should know this.
I assume I'm gonna say it's a fruit, but
I thought so too. I thought so too. But yeah, it's a type of food that you know is synonymous with summer, and it's very good. Now the seeds might be a little bit of an issue depending on what depending on who's eating it. If it's a younger child, it might not be the most advantageous food for them, but still great food. So I love watermelon. Ice cream. I'm surprised ice cream was still there. And I mean, you could have said, I want all the ice cream. All the ice creams belong to me. So, but chocolate, vanilla, cookies and cream. That's my favorite. It's cookies and cream. Or chocolate chip cookie dough. I mean, any ice cream would have been good. So, uh, I'm surprised apple pie wasn't taken either. It might not be quite a cookout food, but I when I consider a pie, I think apple pie is like all around any time of the year good pie to get. I mean, like if you want pumpkin pie, it's basically like fall. It's like Thanksgiving at the latest, pumpkin pie. So, but apple pie, you can have it at any time. It's good. You can cut up the apples, or you can do the filling, however you want to do it. I know my mom does the traditional cut up the apples. That's as far as I'm going to go. I'm not going to go anymore. I'm not going to give away her secret recipe. So I probably spoke too much already, but so I might get a beating afterwards, but we'll find out. So, but yeah.
Let's be honest. The Cliff Notes version is the secret ingredient is love.
There you go. There you go. So yeah, apple pie was another one. Other than that, y'all covered a lot. There's the tea was another one. Tea was the other one. I would thought iced tea or sweet iced tea or unsweetened tea. I thought tea might have went as well. But you did cover the liquids pretty good. You covered the beer. You covered the lemonade. You covered the soda. I mean, water could have been another one that you might throw out there. I mean, it's free. It's around. So as long as it's treated properly, everything's good. So yeah, those are a few, but for the most part, I think y'all did pretty good. So,
yeah, if it's sweet tea, I know that's a Mark DeMora pick. That would not get past Mark in any draft, even if it were Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That would probably be his first pick. But yeah, exactly, now that all the draft picks are in, would you assess? What are your draft grades for each of the participants, and how would you scale them?
Well, I did. I didn't quite give it a letter grade. What I did was my mathematical formula. I gave each letter grade. I gave a number. I gave A+. I gave 6. A. I gave 5.5. A-. I gave 5. So on and so forth. So each pick I gave. I put a numerical value to it. I added them up, and then the highest pick. The highest total I considered the I guess you would say the draft class winner. So and I'll start from bottom to top. So
okay.
And number 5, Earl. No offense, great draft. Just by my numerical value, you ended up with 29. You were in 5th place. Charlie, I love Charlie's draft. She was a ball. I love listening to her talk about it and other things. A lot of emotion, a lot of great there. She was not far behind from the rest. She got a 32. She was 4th. We had a tie at 2nd between Stephanie or Sunshine and Jen. Each had 33.5. So it was very good. But the winner at 1st place with 34 was Charisse. So a half-point difference there. So Charisse, with my unbiased scale, the mathematicals, the numbers never lie. Numbers don't lie. Charisse got the win there. However, I decided to do a little something different too. And then I decided, I was like, which one would I go to? So I was looking at the picks, and this is me being biased. So you had the unbiased one with the numbers. Then there was the one biased with me. So and I won't go through the list there. I just know that Charlie and Charisse were tied at 2nd, and the winner was Jen. I would probably go to Jen's cookout. I'd go to everybody's cookout, but I'd probably go because food. You can't turn down food, especially if you're not paying much for it. So all you gotta do is bring something. Bring the baked beans, bring corn on the cob, bring something. But the one I would go to was Jen. So as far as the numbers go, Charisse is probably the cookout winner. But as far as personal bias, which one I would go to by the picks, it would probably be Jen. So I think you need to invite them both back next year. So I think there's a rivalry brewing there. So real quick, I did a little subcategories here. I had best pick in the draft. I actually gave it to mac and cheese in the 3rd round by Jen. That was a solid pick. I thought that would probably be a late first, early second pick, that me personally. So, but that's a good pick there. I had the confusing. I'm not going to go worse. I'm going to go confusing pick in the draft. And I'm going to change it up a little bit because I'm going to go with the grilled salmon. I went with the shrimp salad initially because it was actual pick, but I changed it up because the more I thought about it, the more I see the logic. But so I went with the grilled salmon. So there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not really synonymous with cookout, and could be kind of hard to find around here. So for the steal of the draft, I had hamburgers by Jen in the second round. So however, if somebody chose cheeseburgers, that probably would have took it over. So because don't get me wrong, I love a good hamburger. I love a good cheeseburger just a little more. So so that was the steal of the draft. And the best 3 free agent picks I had was Charlie with the swimming pool. That was a beautiful one. I really loved that. Jem with the beef hot dogs. I really liked that too. But my number 1 free agent pickup was potato chips. So those were my best free agent picks. So
yeah, I mean, the way you break it all down with the math and the unbiased perspective, that is pretty unique. I mean, not really thinking about that. I mean, it makes sense, especially doing that. Yeah. I didn't know if you went averages or anything like that, but yeah, that is great. And I definitely want you to come back to do this when we do the Thanksgiving draft and do this in perpetuity with the summer draft. Okay. Changing things up. And I definitely want to have you back on a full-fledged episode. Just talk about your draft savvy when it comes to looking at the NFL prospects, because I know you've always been big on doing the rundowns for the NFL drafts, and I just want to talk to you a little more about the time-taking process and things like that.
Yeah,
when it comes to those events.
Yeah, April's a big month for me. You got that, and you got WrestleMania around that time of the year, a little earlier in the month, and so I really love April. It hits all my buttons. Usually it's pretty big on video game releases. So you've got that. You've got WrestleMania, which is the granddaddy of them all, and then you've got draft stuff. So it hits all the buttons that I enjoy. So yeah, I don't mind, Earl. That'd be cool. It'd be cool to come back, and I don't mind. I'll bring my handy dandy could be questionable mathematical formula with me, and we'll have some fun. So.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. And like I said, we're definitely going to do this again. For everybody who's been watching, feel free to share this, give a link out, comment in the comment, and really appreciate it. Brad, what we'll do is we'll continue this discussion offline once we end this broadcast, and then we can do a quick debrief, and then we'll be good to go.
All right, cool. Appreciate it. Thanks, Earl.
Oh, yeah, no problem. For everybody who's been watching, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. We'll be back soon with very soon with another Sports Refuge Podcast live stream. That time and date will be known. Well, the time and date, but the channel. But again, this is Earl Holland for my guest Brad Wilkins. Thanks guys for listening. This episode will be coming out officially, of course, ahead of the 4th of July weekend, because that's the time for barbecues and cookouts, and it's the beginning of the summer. I guess technically the beginning of the end of summer. But for everybody, thanks a lot. We'll do this again. Don't forget to give this a share and a like and everything else. Thanks, guys.
All right, have a good one.